So I hope you can see my screen. And yeah, our topic for today is problem communication strategies for offshore software teams. Why I choose this topic? Because it's a really important topic from my point, and communication, it's uh, really interesting, and you must be informed if you made the decision to start working with offshore engineering team. And yeah, and you need to pay attention to some things to make these relationships productive. So let me introduce myself. My name is Anna, and I am project manager at Agiliway company during the last 3 years. Previously, I worked in another company, like not only project manager, like a product manager and business analytic. So, and in total, I have something like more than 12 years experience, and I worked with different clients from different regions. So we previously worked with clients from China. We worked with Alibaba company. We worked with companies from Africa. We worked with companies from Europe. We worked with companies from US. So that is why I hope that I can share my experience and explain how to communicate and how grow productivity through better communications with your engineering team. So, what agenda do we have for today? Today we will talk about business with offshore software teams. So we will understand what is the main difficulties in communication you can get when you will start to work with offshore software teams. And I will tell you a little bit about communication tips that will help you improve productivity and communication between, for example, your home team and offshore software team. I hope you can see my screen. Just right now, I saw the message that you can. So finger crossed that you can. Okay, so now let's start with business and offshore software teams. So as you can see on my screen, that starting from the statistics from 2021, that startups outsourced something like 17% of software development. So on 2022, it was 21. And 2023, it's 36% of business using offshore software teams. It means that it's worldwide statistics, but for US, for example, 56% of US companies right now using outsource IT services. It can be different reasons why they're doing this, but as you can see, yes, 57% of US companies using outsource IT services. So, and it means that you need to understand how to work with teams who is located in another region, another time zone, with another culture, and so on, because every region, even inside one country, can be different. So, and for example, working with Asia region will be different, and to compare with work with European region. So the main difficulties in communication, from my point, can be in different time zones and language barriers. For example, in my previous company, we worked with a big US company that have offices around the world. It's 18 offices. It was 18 offices before COVID-19. From my point, from time to time, me and my development team, we heard such things that we are not native speakers, and our language is not so perfect. And in such a way, when we tried to communicate with native speakers, with clients, with local developers, it was really stressful. In such a way, our productivity was not so high as we want, because we spent a lot of time to recheck our grammar when we're typing some texts. We were so shy to tell something, to ask questions. So if you're telling that to someone that your English is not so well, and yeah, it will be a problem in the future, because people they will start stress and they stop asking the questions. So right now, from my point, I have the perfect client from US, and sometimes when I understand that my English is not so perfect as I want, and I start apologizing that sorry for my English, guys, and so on. Our head of product, he always saying to me, so Anna, please stop. Your English is much better than my Ukrainian. So in such a way, I feel comfortable with my English. I'm comfortable to ask any questions. I'm comfortable to ask for details, and client is comfortable to share some knowledge to improve my English, to provide more details, to provide some additional information if I'm not sure that I understood correctly. So, and I'm feeling comfortable to ask questions, and in such a way, we spend less on development and fixing something, because I can ask the question, spend 10 minutes in asking and confirming some details. And after that, I will explain, for example, my development team, what should be done there. And we will deliver the product that our client expected from our side. So yeah, different time zones. Yeah, it's really a difficult situation, because, for example, with US, we have 8 hours difference plus. But, for example, previously we had 8 hours with minus with China, and you can imagine that we had deployments at 4 early morning. And we need to woke up really early with all our development team, and to make sure that we deployed everything properly, and sync with the local teams. And so you can imagine how hard is it. And when we have this experience, we can understand our clients from US who can woke up early to sync with us and work with us not only for 1 hour, but more. And in such a way, for future, we need to understand how communicate if we have some differences in time zone. So I will explain this in next slides. So we can have different work environments, yeah, and different cultures. About different cultures, I have really funny story, because when we opened office in Japan, we have operational director there, and everything goes fine. We started business there. We opened the website there. We start doing some amazing things. We saw that we have income from Japan, and in one moment I have some tasks, and I need some assistance from operational director from Japan. So, and I started typing some text and ask for help, because I need to update some information on the website, and I need to confirm that this information is correct. And I didn't get any response from operational director for 2 weeks. And I was really surprised. Why is it so? Because it was really a responsible person, really active and involved and interested in business. And for me, it was a really big surprise why he didn't respond to me. And I didn't know what should be done to improve the situation. I asked my CTO to talk with him and ask what happened, why he didn't respond to me. And you know, the situation was in the following: when you're asking someone from Japan, you need to add sorry, you need to add san before the name. Right? For example, Miss Anna, could you please? And there you need to add Lee-san, please, could you provide me some information? And I didn't know this. And when I asked him, please, hi, greetings, Lee, could you please help me? It means that I didn't respect him. And he can ignore me in such a way. So here we have difference in culture, and in such a way I didn't get a response from him. I apologize. I wrote that sorry, I didn't know, it's a culture difference. Could you please provide me? And after that we understood each other, and we started work more productive. So, and that is why difference between cultures, it can be really difficult. And when you are starting to work with offshore team, please make sure that you will pay attention to these things. So, okay, I think that that's clear, and we can start talking about tips. So, communication tips. Firstly, I want to talk about relationships with your software development team and you. So it's really important from the beginning to build a relationship with your software development team, which is located in other country, other region. And yeah, why is it so important? Because you need to understand these people, and you need to understand with whom you will be working and creating your product. So you need to understand how they will be performing, how they will be involved in process, and when you will understand the person, their needs, and what do they like, and when you will have some one-to-one meetings, when you will build some personal touch, and when the software team will understand that you're a human being and you're on the same plate, you're on the same boat, so they will be involved in process more, because they will understand that all of your team members and the team members from the offshore team, you're doing the one big job. So you are creating, for example, startup, creating new products, you're involving new customers inside your company, and they will be more involved because they will be feeling the personal responsibility, because you will know each other. So entrepreneurs working with offshore teams should treat their members as ordinary coworkers. It's reasonable to learn more about each of them and build healthy relationships within the team and the virtual team. That is why when we have stand-ups, for example, or some town hall meetings with home team and our team, I'm always asking my team members to turn a camera on. So everyone must know each other. We need to communicate. If you can do some activities with offshore team members and so on. In such a way, you will have some personal touch, and it will improve your communications and involvement of offshore team in your product creation. So even if you're, again, even if your remote workers speak perfect English, remember that you still may be viewing or interpreting things differently. So, and you need to do everything to make your offshore coworkers, make them feeling comfortable with their not so perfect English. And if they want to ask any questions, they can ask any questions. Please do understand, if you will spend 10 minutes to answer the questions, it will be, you will spend less in a cost for your project if, for example, someone will be really shy to ask the questions, and after that they will create something another that you planned from the beginning. So, and everyone who is working with development, yes, we do understand that requirements, they are not so clear as we want. And that is why asking the questions is the better way to create everything that we planned from the beginning. So, yeah, and position yourself as a partner instead of client. Yes, it's really works. So right now we are working with the client who is acting like this. And I can say that motivation of my team, right now we have 15 team members, so they are highly motivated. They are thinking that this project, this is their own project. So our clients do everything to make us comfortable, and we are feeling that we are a part of their home team. So, for example, every town hall, we have 5 minutes when we are telling about some news from Ukraine, and we are sharing some interesting cultural facts. And our clients, they are sharing some cultural facts from US, and it's really interesting and it's really works. And when we have some hard situations, when something goes not so good with business side, our team tried to do our best and do more to help our US colleagues. So if you will ask someone from my team if we are calling our client like a client, no, we are calling them like colleagues or friends, and that's it. And it was a really big work during the last 3 years to build such sort of communication. And I can say that that is why my team performing so well, and they are doing a little bit more than our colleagues from ES expected from ourselves. So let's go to the second one. So ensure effective and open product vision sharing. Yeah, guys, it's really important because offshore team must understand why you want to the product, what functions for end users you need, what specifications, what it must be, when it must be delivered, what you expect to achieve with the product. Yes, it's really important. The plus of my current project that we are developing the product, and we are the users of our own product. So that is why it's really nice, because we can see the end user, and we can see the pain of our end user, and we can resolve the pain of the end user. But every developer from an offshore team, he must understand what he is doing and why he is doing this or another thing. So in such a way, try to clarify everything, probably from the beginning, and make sense when you are doing some onboarding work with new team members. I'm always doing product tour. So I'm showing the product, I'm explaining what we are doing, why we're doing this, or and this is really a good idea for product owners to do this product tours for new team members, because you can collect fresh feedback, and after that create new features and improve your product or some products inside. So yeah, this is really important to understand the product, to understand the vision, how this product must be improved for a future, to provide roadmap. Why it's so important to have a roadmap? Because everyone will be informed what will be the next. So in such a way, you can plan, you can understand what is going on, and so on. And it's really important to get feedback from end users, because developers, they are dealing with code only, and they can't see the end user. What we are doing, we have Slack channels, for example, where we are sharing the where our client sharing some feedbacks from end users. For example, we have a huge deployment, huge release, and we created some new product, and this product goes live, and after that, our end users starting providing some good feedbacks. They saying that they really appreciate that we developed this feature. And for developers, it's really nice to get this feedback and to see this feedback from end user, because it will be motivate them to improve themselves, to perform faster, to be more productive, because they will see the result of their work. So, and that is why it's really important. Okay, let's go the next one. So, sorry guys. Establish a communication framework, rules, and discipline. Yeah, it's really important. So I think almost all of us read PMBOK, so you know about communication plan. So, and you need to understand who is the responsible person, what kind of communication you will be using for different types of communications. So, first of all, here I mentioned the emails. Emails we are always using like something official. So when you need to inform about something, to send some invoices, reports, and something else. Messengers, for example, the most popular right now it's Slack and Skype. So you can use or Microsoft Teams, for example, like we are using. So you need to explain what we are using, what cases we are using these messengers, and for example, which channels for what needs we are using, and so on. So yeah, if you need to tag responsible persons in Jira. And for example, we have a rule that all questions under tickets in Jira must be answered during 2 hours. So if it will take more than 2 hours, please inform about this, that you need to make some investigation work, and after that you will respond with details, for example. But no one must be ignored from both sides. So you can imagine that it's a client, and you have a time difference, and you can't control your offshore team. And in such a way, if you can see that you have communication with your team and they are responsive in such a way, you will have this feeling that yes, they are performing, they are doing their job, and everything is going properly as you expected from the team. So screen sharing, yeah, why not? If you need, you can use screen sharing, video calls. Yeah, for example, we are using Zoom. So on a previous project, we used Google Meet, but yeah, for us right now, Zoom is better solution. So, and always you need to have emergency channels. Why is it so? Again, you have time difference, and for example, why is it so good idea to have offshore team? Because you have time difference. Why? Because you can deploy something on production, for example, during the Ukrainian working hours, and it won't, if something goes wrong, it won't affect on your users, because they will be sleeping during our deployment. So in such a way, you will minimize risks, and offshore team will deploy, will test everything. If something goes wrong, we will stop deployment, and we will fix everything, and everything will be fine, and end users they won't be affected. But in such cases, when your offshore team will need some assistance, for example, if they don't have, for example, some sort of permissions to do something. They must have some emergency channel to connect with you to resolve these issues, or inform you that, for example, you make some deployments during US working hours, and from it looks perfect, but when your offshore team, for example, start working in the morning, we get the errors message. We saw that production is not working, so we need to inform the clients that we have problems, and we need to resolve these problems as fast as we can. So, and emergency channels, it's really important. So discipline frameworks, rules. Yeah, for communication, it's really important. So for in a perfect world, you must have communication plan. If you don't know what is it, please let me know, and I will send to you some examples how it can looks like. So the next one. Hold meetings often and regularly. So you need to understand what kind of meetings do you need, how often, who must be involved in these meetings, and what should be discussed during these meetings, and after these meetings, create and send meetings notes. So it's really important. Meetings notes, it's really important. So how often, for example, daily stand-ups, yes, it makes sense to do every day because you have time difference. You need to sync with your offshore team to make sure that they are working on the tasks that you are focused on. They need to update you about progress. They need to explain what they will do during the next working day, and the same situation. If you have your home team, they need to update the offshore team what they are doing, because you can do sometimes it can affect. So when you have daily meetings in such a way, everyone informed about everything that is going on under the project. Yeah, so and daily stand-ups, it's must have for all projects from my point. What about other meetings? So for example, we are using the Agile methodology, and we have some refinements, we have plannings, and we have some demo. But who are involved in these meetings? In these meetings, involved only interested in these meetings persons. For example, backend developers, we don't need them on demos, because unfortunately they can't demonstrate the dark side of coding. So we tried a couple times, but we didn't get any success with this, because non-technical people, it won't interesting for them to see the code only, and they didn't understand what is going on there and why we are showing this. Clients, they're interested in the user interface, how it works, and so on. So in such a way, when we're making some demos, so we are trying to involve product owners, we are trying to involve QAs, we are involving front-end engineers, and so on. The persons who are interested in this meeting. And in such a way, backend team, they can sit, create the gorgeous code, and continue performing. Because it's really important to understand who must be involved in the meeting. Because you can imagine when you're switching from different types of work. Because if you will ask your developers to sit on all meetings, they won't be so productive as you want in coding. So and in such a way, you must have clear understanding whom you need on one or another meeting. And you will be really surprised when you will see that less people on the meeting, but more productivity in the coding. So, but always you must prepare agenda for a meeting. So with topics, you need to keep these meetings short, because a lot of meetings, it's not productive and effective meetings, and create and send meeting notes. because during the meeting you can get some agreements from all sides, and you can think that all of you are on the same page, but as a result, you can get the different result from different persons who were involved in this meeting. So that is why you can have again a responsible person who will be creating meeting notes. It can be engineer, it can be PM, it can be PO, it can be BA, doesn't matter. Someone who can create meeting notes, and after that, after meeting, using emails or using Slack channel, create this meeting note and send to all persons who were involved in this meeting. Okay, let's go. Transfer knowledge. Yeah, it's really important. So unshared knowledge always has a negative impact on the productivity of the team. Ensure that your in-house and offshore developers are on the same page regarding processes, workflows, and tasks. So yeah, it's really important because everyone must be on the same page with knowledge. For example, right now we are using Confluence to create some documentation, and we are trying to add as much details as we can in requirements. So when we are describing the tasks for developers, add comments, add some comments, add some mocks and everything there to make sure that everything is clear and described, because you can imagine that you're coming to the new project, you need to start creating something there, and you don't have any documentation, and nobody can make onboarding for you. Previously I had such situation. Right now I'm trying to ask our developers, and we have a rule: when we are creating something, we need to create documentation for this. And the same thing for a home team, because someone can forget to do this, and we will lose the knowledge. We need to minimize buzz factor. If someone will left the company, the knowledge must be there, and we need to create a process in such a way that all features, all bugs, everything must be covered by some description, some documentation, because it's really important. Because we have we had some cases previously when unfortunately we didn't have any documentation, and new person who will be responsible for some projects, he needs to spend 1 month, for example, to understand how it works, to create documentation about how it works, and only after that start working. But you can imagine if you already have this documentation, and for onboarding, such person will require only 1 week, not 1 month. So you can compare costs, 1 month or 1 week. So makes sense for me. The project details can be accessed with the help of technical documents, spreadsheets, how-to guides, presentations, and more. Make it the point that your in-house team is always available to support your offshore development team. So yeah, and I can say more, not only in-house team, but offshore team must support in-house team too, because it can be different cases. Sometimes offshore team can have you can have senior developers with huge experience inside your offshore team, and for example in your in-house team you will have only junior developers, for example. So you need to make your processes in such a way when you're growing together. So when you're sharing experience, when you're making some webinars inside your engineering team, and yeah, everyone must be involved in this process. So yeah, so transfer knowledge, it's really important. Everything must be clear, and buzz factor, we need to minimize it. So, and that's it, guys. Please, questions. I'm so talkative today. So I took 45 minutes. Amazing. So please ask the questions. You can, as I understand, you can type them in chat, and I will read them. And I think that we will share this presentation with you if someone will interested in it. So questions, please. So no questions. Okay, so if we don't have any questions, awesome presentation. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you. So if we don't have any questions, guys, you can text these questions through our LinkedIn and other sources. If you will require any assistance or support, or you will have again any questions, please let us know. I will be really glad to answer on them all, and don't be strangers. Let's communicate. So we are always open for any communications, and we are interested in communications. So, and thank you all that you were with us today, listen to me, and I hope took some new knowledges from this presentation. So thank you, and probably that's it. See you guys on future webinars. So bye.